This is the brand new Mini Cooper Countryman S, and I'm here to give you 4 reasons why I think it's a worthy holder of that S badge. Number 1, the steering is very sharp on this Mini. Now remember in the old days when all cars had something called rack and pinion steering? Well, this car still has that. It feels like an old school steering system. It has the responsiveness of an old school steering system, and you can really lean into these corners here and get a relatively good amount of feel back. You've also got this leather bound steering, which makes it very communicative. And for me, that is the first reason why I think this car deserves the S badge. Number 2, kind of ties in with the wheel a little bit, and that is the handling of the Cooper S. Now you've got those run flat tires in the front, and although that takes away a little bit from the overall feel and handling of the car, you've got a very pucker suspension system in this car that allows you to cover ground relatively quickly in a car of this size. In the typical Mini tradition, it handles a little bit like a go-kart, a term in my mind often thrown around a little bit too much, but in this case it might be applicable. Number 3, 0 to 100 comes up in 7.5 seconds, and if you flick it up from green into mid and into sport mode like that, she really does come alive. This one's got a 141 kilowatt 2-liter engine, which produces 280 Newton meters as well. Now you've got that 7-speed DCT gearbox that works really well with this 2-liter turbocharged engine. This model unfortunately has not been specced with the paddle shifts, so I would highly recommend owners get that. Even though I wouldn't usually use the paddle shifts, I do feel like today would have been the perfect day for me to be shuffling up and down that wonderful 7-speed gearbox. And lastly, I've got to mention these seats. They are very supportive. But as with most things, there's a compromise. You get lots and lots of support going around corners like that, but they are also very firm. And therein lies the appeal of the Mini. The Mini is a compromised car. It's the kind of car that has an incredible amount of practical and usable space, but also a fair amount of performance. And that performance is very accessible as well. For those that are looking to buy a Mini, be warned. It is a car that has many facets to it. It is a car that does many things well, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be the most comfortable car, and it's also not going to have the most performance. It's going to fit somewhere in between. And that's exactly what this Countryman S does. It fits well in between to deliver an overall good package.